I like this time of the year when the financial statements are finally out and you can see how your competitors are doing. Today, we're giving AI a task that every finance team knows very well: competitive analysis. Imagine you are preparing a strategic analysis and you need to understand how your competitors perform. So you download their annual reports, hundreds of pages of financial statements, notes, and management commentary. And somewhere inside all of that are the numbers you actually need: revenue, operating margin, cost structure, key financial ratios. So I decided to test something. I gave two AI models, ChatGPT and Claude, a simple but very practical task. I uploaded the annual reports of three airline carriers: EasyJet, Wizz Air, and Ryanair. Then I asked them to extract the key financial figures and fill in a structured table with the main KPIs for each company. In other words, do the work that analysts and controllers often spend hours doing. But here is where it gets interesting. Only one of the models managed to fill in the entire table correctly. Let's see what happened. Okay, we're opening ChatGPT 5.2 and I'm entering a prompt. You're a financial analyst supporting a CFO. I want to compare my company called Company X to my competitors, EasyJet, Wizz Air, and Ryanair. First, generate a template in Excel with key financial figures. What is the company's revenues, EBITDA, and profitability, and the days payments outstanding. So we'll see what ChatGPT generates for us. I see it has generated a ready-to-use Excel template. We're opening the file. Let's open the file. Let's see what we have. Yes. Okay, so we see revenue, EBITDA, operating profits. So we see raw financial figures, but also some KPIs that need to be calculated. These are typical for this industry, and we see columns for particular companies. Now I'm uploading this template and the EasyJet's annual report, and I'm asking to fill in this template. And in a similar way, I have asked to fill in the data from other financial statements. The end result, unfortunately, is not satisfactory because we see that some raw financial figures have been completed, like revenue, EBITDA, EBIT, but we see that the KPIs that needed to be calculated, something divided by something, has not been achieved. So ChatGPT did not manage to do this task properly. And now let's switch to Claude. I've done a similar request in Claude, Sonnet 4.6, and let's see what the result is. I have the Excel file, I'm opening the Excel file, and wow, the whole table is complete. All KPIs, also those that needed to be calculated, are calculated. So I see that Claude was very successful in terms of perusing hundreds of pages of annual reports. And I see the comparison, ChatGPT on the left, Claude on the right. So you see that the task performed was more successful for Claude. And now I'm asking Claude to draw conclusions regarding profitability and other key factors. Claude has prepared this summary in Word format, which is very useful. We see the profitability analysis, we see the description of different aspects of financial performance, which is, I must say, very insightful. We see some prioritization of insights, some red flags, some exclamation marks, some priority areas for improvement. I must say, this would be very valuable if I compared the performance of my company to my competitors. So what happened in the end? Out of the two models tested, only Claude managed to complete the task properly. It extracted the relevant figures from all three annual reports and filled in the entire KPI table consistently. ChatGPT was able to identify some of the numbers, but it struggled to process the reports systematically and complete the whole structure. And that difference matters because tasks like this are exactly where finance teams spend a significant amount of time collecting data, extracting numbers from reports, and preparing benchmarking analysis. If AI can reliably automate this first layer of work, it can save hours of manual effort. But this experiment also shows something important. Different models perform very differently depending on the task. Some are better at generating text, others are stronger at reading complex documents and structuring information. So, the real lesson for finance leaders is not which AI is the best. The real lesson is which AI is reliable for the specific analytical task you need to perform. In this case, for extracting financial data from large annual reports and structuring competitor benchmarks, Claude proved to be significantly more effective. If you found this experiment useful, subscribe to the channel because in the next episodes we continue testing AI against real finance challenges.